Your Holiness, I would like to ask this question. Do you think it's essential to Islam that animals should be slaughtered by the halal method, or do you think it's just arisen from the conditions of the Middle East when there was no refrigeration?
I'll explain that. You see, the question again has to be explained. Question itself has to be explained first. I'm going to do it for you. You see, when you hear of halal and haram much talked about in a society like the British society, and when you hear the edicts of some mullahs that do not eat any meat slaughtered by non-Muslims, then you have an image of what Islam is all about, and perhaps you understand Islam to be dividing a line between people of Islam and others in areas of daily common usage which are common. Now, this is not the correct understanding of Islam. Islam clearly lays down those things which are forbidden for human consumption. And among those things which are counted in the Quran are the flesh of swine, those animals which died a natural death, those who died out of an accident, those who were strangled to death, and all such animals who were slaughtered with the name of anyone else animal other than Allah. So if they were slaughtered to the altar of some imaginary gods, then that flesh becomes positively haram for Muslims. In all the cases, in the rest of the cases, also those animals which are birds or animals of prey, which eat other animals' flesh, they are also forbidden in Islam, and you can't eat their flesh. Apart from that, the Holy Quran says the food of the Jews and the Christians alike, Ahlul Kitab, is halal for you. I don't know why the mullahs shut their eyes to this verse, because the way they understand the Quran, this verse has nothing to do in the Quran. Why should it be there? It's a very broad-minded teaching. It says of all Ahl Kitab, and this again is a very interesting point raised by the Quran, because Ahl Kitab are generally confined to the followers of Moses and Jesus Christ and those who stood in between. But the literal term Ahl Kitab applies to all religions which were founded on a divine book. So as such, I believe that the Hindus who do not indulge in idolatry, they should also be treated as Ahl Kitab, because they are founded on the book of Krishna, whom we understand to be a law-bearing prophet. So with this understanding, I assure you that this is the Ahmadiyya belief and practice, that all meat is halal, provided it is slaughtered for the sake of human consumption. It is slaughtered in a manner whereby blood is let, because blood is haram, not the flesh. If it is not strangulated, if it is not beaten to death, then that flesh of the animal, which animal in itself is not forbidden, that can be eaten without any shadow of doubt. Only what you have to do is say Bismillah, Allahu Akbar before you eat the flesh. Now this is not only my interpretation of the Quran, this is proved to be the practice, the Sunnah of Hazrat Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam himself, because we read in Bukhari, no other book than Bukhari. It is the most authentic book of traditions, that Hazrat Rasulullah sallam told some others who were doubtful about the quality of meat which they received from the Bedouins around. whether it was properly slaughtered or not, or whether it was slaughtered by Muslims or others, Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, no, don't indulge in doubts and speculations. If a meat comes, it is slaughtered for human purpose, then say your own Bismillah over it. And Bismillah, Allahu Akbar, doesn't cost anybody anything. It just means, in the name of Allah, and Allah is the greatest. So this is the true nature of Islamic injunction regarding the foods. Do you have any question based on this statement, please?
Just add that I understand exactly what you said, yes. A lot of people are worried about the actual method of slaughter, you see, and the stunning of an animal first seems to be in some way a little kinder than killing the animal and letting it go.
I'll explain that. You see, this issue is debatable whether to stun the animal first and then to slaughter is more benign for the animal, shows more kindness to the animal, or just the slaughter. Because I have studied this since my student days here in 1956, 55, 56. And I went to some slaughterhouses, I inquired from the from the people concerned. And because I know some of the basic sciences concerned in this question, I assure you that it cannot be definitely proved that the stunning does not hurt the animal, and it makes the death easier for the animal, and slaughter is a more cruel way. Because in Islamic system of slaughter, the main artery is severed immediately. You know, that sharp, and also the Holy Prophet has emphasized that you must never use a blunt instrument for doing this. And when the artery is severed, immediately with a sharp weapon, like sharp instrument, then the blood supply to the mind, to the brain is stopped therewith. And you think the animal is writhing in pain or this and that. It is writhing all right, but through automatic reflexes, not in pain. And that is why the Holy Prophet ﷺ repeatedly admonished Muslims not to slaughter animals any other way, by cutting them piecemeal, for instance. You have no right to do that. Do it this way, and then they immediately lose consciousness. Right? Thank you.